Hello, and in this video I'm going to talk through the Management Catchment tabs within the Devon and Cornwall Cabot Dashboard mapping tool. So within Devon and Cornwall we have split the spatial outputs into each management catchment, and in Devon and Cornwall we have split it into 7 management catchments. So there is West Cornwall, North Cornwall, Tamar, North Devon, Torridge, North Devon, Tamar, South Devon and East Devon. And for this video I'm going to talk through Tamar as an example. So within each management catchment tab, the spatial outputs are split into 2. So we have opportunity and hydrology spatial outputs from the NFMStudio tool, and we also have the natural capital spatial outputs from the NFMStudio tool. And for each section there is a different map. So if we scroll down, or you can jump down using this link here, it just jumps you down to the opportunity and hydrology section. There is a dashboard here that is just loading. So in this one, it's the opportunity and hydrology one. So in here is all the spatial data for the opportunity and hydrology data sets. So on the right here we have indicators, and they are statistical summaries of what is shown on the map. So in grey is the opportunity, and these are the average opportunities for each NFM intervention type. So we've got the infiltration, catchment storage and in-channel attenuation opportunities. And in the white we have the volumes. These are the sum of the volumes of the different NFM intervention types and scenarios within that. So for example, we have the infiltration volume, the land use change, woodland creation and soil recovery. And we also have the catchment storage from one bund, or from the maximum number of bunds in each field. And we also have the in-channel attenuation volume here at the bottom. And these reflect what is currently shown on the map. So this is currently for the whole of the Tamar region. And on the left here we have a selection of sliders. So this is, we can move up and down, so we can just select different fields that we're interested in. So perhaps we're just interested in the highest volume, and that will change what's on the map. Currently we're on a zoomed out scale, so we're just seeing the sub-catchments averages. And this is for the soil recovery NFM option. If we were to zoom in into the catchment a bit more, it then changes from being on a catchment scale to a field scale, and the catchment ID is also labelled on each catchment. So you can see the field scale NFM outputs are now loading. Sometimes it's a bit slow, and it helps to zoom in quite close because then there is less data to load. So again here we are looking at the infiltration layer, and what is shown is the soil recovery option. So here we can look at soil recovery option. So here we can look at the highest fields, and this would cause some to drop away. So we're only looking at the highest fields with the highest infiltration. There are different layers that are viewable on the map, and you can view the different layers using the layers icon. And this is this icon here with sheets of paper stacked on top of each other. And if you click here, you can view all the different layers that are available on this map. So all the little eye icons are what is currently viewable. So you can see that the main rivers and the hydrometric infiltration return period for 2 and 100-year return periods are currently viewable. Another thing to note is that the the grayed out layers is what is turned on, but it's not visible because it's set to a certain scale. So if we were to zoom out to back to the catchment scale map, then this catchment summaries layer becomes bold, and the return period for 2 and 100 becomes grayed out. And if we zoom back in again, then this will swap around as we flip between field scale outputs that are viewable and catchment scale outputs that are viewable. So this is what is currently viewable, is the infiltration return periods for 2 in 100-year events. And you can flip between the two using these buttons here. So you could flip to the 1 in 2, or you can go back to the 100. Now, if you're interested in other return periods, they are available as different layers. Due to the size of the data sets, we have split them out into separate layers. So if you're interested in the 1 in 10 or the 1 in 20 and the 1 in 50, then you can turn these layers on and view them separately. So I'll turn the infiltration layers off and turn the catchment storage layer on. So this is what relates to these boxes here, the catchment storage volume boxes. And there is also sliders available, so you can select different ones. So if I go through the sliders, we have the infiltration opportunity, and then 3 different infiltration volumes from the different scenarios. So land use change, woodland creation and soil recovery. Then we have the catchment storage opportunity slider and the catchment storage volumes from the 2 different scenarios, so from 1 bund and from the maximum number of bunds. And then we also have the in-channel opportunity slider and the in-channel attenuation volume slider. So for each icon we have here, there is a slider relating to it. And if you change what is visible using the sliders on the map, then these icons here will change. So currently on the map we have switched on the catchment storage layer, and as you can see here, have it here. Not all fields will have catchment storage data assigned to them. This is because only fields that have a flow pathway running through them will be generating enough volume, or have been modelled to generate enough volume to store behind a bund. So that's why only selected fields have the data applied to them. And again, you can select what is viewable by using the sliders here. So that's just turned off a lot of the fields because I just want to look at the fields with the really highest storage. Then get back again. And then there's also an in-channel layer, so I'll just turn the catchment storage off, turn in-channel on. And now what is viewable is the volumes that can be stored from in-channel attenuation. And again, these are just going to select fields next to or neighbouring watercourses and streams. So that's why these fields over here do not have any data. Again, you can use the slider, select the highest ones, so let's turn a lot of them off. And this value will change according to what is currently displayed on the map. What you can do is click on a field and it will list the attribute table relating to that shapefile to each layer here. This is perhaps most useful for the infiltration layer. I'll turn that back on because as only the soil recovery is shown with this symbology in this colour scale. But obviously there are the 2 other scenarios, and we click on this field, it will show you the volume in meters cubed and in millimeters for each infiltration scenario. And it will also show for each return period, so you can flip between the two return periods in this attribute table. For the infiltration layer, what we can also do is view the hydrographs and look into hydrographs a bit more using the hydrograph calculator, and a separate how-to video is available for that. There is a separate hydrograph calculator spreadsheet for each sub-catchment. So for each numbered catchment here, there is a separate hydrology calculator, and that can be downloaded from this link here. So if you're interested in a particular catchment and you know that you can view its number by looking on the map, you can then go to this link and download that hydrology calculator for that specific catchment. And in there you'll be able to query and look into the hydrograph and the effectiveness of the different infiltration and NFM measures, and look at its response on the hydrograph. And that can be done on the hydrology calculator, which can be accessed at this link here. What you can also do on this map here is zoom into a particular catchment. So if you're interested, and that can be done here, if you're interested in, say, catchment 152, you can click on that and it will zoom you in to catchment 152, which is just loading here. So yeah, catchment 152. Another way you can zoom in and zoom about the map is using this box here with the magnifying glass, and you can zoom in to certain places like Plymouth, for example. You can zoom in there, and to exit the search you can click this X here. This box here shows you the legend for whatever is viewable, so you can see the different symbology behind the different layers that is currently turned on. And then in this box here, you click the selector box, it will turn dark blue and turn your cursor into a cross. And then you can click on a selected field or a selected few field by holding Shift and clicking on several fields. And this will then update the indicators here just for whatever you've selected. So these will have changed just to show the impact of the volumetric storage from these two fields. And to clear that, you press the X here, and to turn off this selector tool, go back to this box and click it and your cursor will appear again. So that is the opportunity and hydrology layer, as the different layers here relate to the opportunity, which is this layer, and the three different hydrology metric types. The next one is for natural capital, so you can either scroll down or use this icon here to jump down to the natural capital dashboard, which is similar but has all the information relating to the natural capital assessment as part of the NFMStudio tool. So again, we are looking at a zoomed out view of the Tamar management catchment, and this is currently showing the total cost benefit from the natural capital assessment at a summary of at the catchment level. And again, if we zoom in, it will flip then to showing it at the field scale, and also show the catchment ID, which is this number here Just going to zoom in and view the field scale natural capital assessment. Taking a while to load. Okay. So here on the right hand side we have similar indicators showing the breakdown of this total cost. So you can see here a lot of it is due to this, the majority is the air cost, and biodiversity cost is a big element. And then down here we also have the total cost presented, and this is for the whole of the Tamar catchment. We also have on this left hand side again the different sliders relating to these different submetric costs, which we can look at, change and it'll alter the costs. And we also have the different scenarios. So the natural capital assessment was run for these 4 different scenarios: the changing land management scenario, channel restoration, flow pathway bunds, and woodland creation. So currently we're viewing the land management, or we can change it and view a different scenario. It is being a bit slow. And these will change accordingly. And again, we can zoom into a particular catchment that we're interested in using this drop down here. And the attribute tables can be viewed by clicking on a particular field. So you can see this field has not ranked very highly in the natural capital assessment. And a different field. And again, you can view the different layers by clicking this layer tab. And here you can see that we're looking at the Tamar natural capital assessment. And the significance scores for each submetric are also listed here as different shapefiles which can be turned on and off. So turn off catchment and turn on the water resource significance. Taking a while. I can turn on the recreation significance. And that will also be viewable. And we can click on the field to view its significance and its scenario. We can flick through the scenarios here as well, like so. So as you can see now, we've changed the scenario to the in-channel. It's changed the total cost and the breakdown of this total cost as well in this pie chart. Similarly to the other dashboards, you can use this selector button to select certain fields, which will select them and just show the values in these this icons here. We can also zoom in to certain locations using this magnifying glass icon. You can view what layers are viewable on the legend using this legend icon here. And you can also change the base map using these 4 different block icon here. We can change the background map to satellite imagery if you wish. So that is a breakdown of the 2 different aspects to the management catchment tabs: opportunity and hydrology and natural capital.